Please start the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Almighty and everlasting God, who presides over all things in heaven and earth, come to preside over these deliberations, so that those that make decisions may be guided by your wisdom. Well,
Okay, we have on City Council's agenda, there's a resolution temporarily suspending the ordinance pertaining to the open consumption of alcoholic beverages for the Rainbow Alliance Pride Fest 2023, and file of Council number 3 of 2023, which is the second reading for the fireworks. And then we have a new item, which is also suspending the open consumption of alcoholic beverages for the Rock in the River event that will take place July 14th, 21st, and 20th.
Kathy, if I can ask you, the Rainbow Alliance Pride Fest, is that just wine? Or malt beverage? I'm not sure. I didn't hear.
So our intent is to sell bottles of honey wine and apple wine cider to go.
So we're talking about tasting. That's why we do it.
That's how you do it.
Mayor?
Hi, good evening. Okay, a couple of resolutions for your approval, hopefully. First one is authorizing the proper city officials preparing and submitting necessary applications to the Commonwealth Financing Authority of Commonwealth of Pennsylvania through the Greenway Trails and Recreation Program for the West Bank Riverfront Park Revitalization Project grant, amount of $250,000. The project will focus on Kirby Park, upland area, and improvements will consist of pond rehabilitation, new pedestrian trails, educational kiosks, safety, lighting, benches, and also some trash receptacles and directional signage. Secondly, authorizing proper city officials to enter into an agreement, the amount of $975,860 with Barber Specialty Vehicles at 752 Americana Parkway, Columbus, Ohio, for the purchase of a 45-foot mobile clinic, funding from the Epidemiology and Laboratory Capacity Grant from the Pennsylvania Department of Health will be used to purchase the vehicle. So this is a grant we're going to receive, and not taking any money out of this in the budget or so forth. Sure, grant. I just want to say, if we don't take advantage of it, another city will. So I'm hoping we're going to agree to that. Authorizing proper city officials to enter into an agreement, the amount of $650,000 with ISRI to better engage the community and improve operational efficiencies through ISRI's software services and training program for multi-departmental collaboration. Funding will be provided by the Epidemiology and Laboratory Capacity Grant from the Pennsylvania Department of Health. If you have any questions on that, Director of the Health Department, Hank Podolsky, is here, and is happy to answer any questions you may have on that. And then lastly is appointing Arthur Breeze, the gentleman sitting behind me, to the Fire Civil Service Commission. Mr. Breeze will be replacing Mr. Felton, who tendered his resignation a month or so ago.
Can you kind of give us a briefing on the mobile clinic? Like what are we going to use it? What's it really for? What's in it?
Yeah, actually, there will be 45-foot. Actually, this mobile unit is 45-foot plus, basically, and there are 3 clinic rooms in there. There's also a waiting room. There's educational rooms in there. It's very significant for a couple reasons. One, obviously, is the fact that we are all about prevention, okay? So whenever there is an emergency, we will be prepared instantaneously. So once again, something happens, we're there, snap your fingers, and we're there with everything we need to provide any type of services at that time. concurrently, it's also used on a daily basis. Public health is community health. Community health means going into the community. So this could go in many places. We could use it for, flu clinics, vaccine clinics, children's immunization clinics, numerous things. So we found one thing that with the numerous clinics that we have, one of the problems people have, believe it or not, is getting transportation to our clinics. So what better way to go to either the high rises or into the communities to actually take the services to the people.
That's great.
So Hank, then, you said it's kind of like a bus, correct?
Right.
So our people will be driving that?
Yeah, you need a CDL.
I was just going to ask that.
And we do have someone in the health department who does have a CDL license.
So how about the software here? It says here's ESRI software. Is there going to be a fee for that? A couple of years down the road when it needs to be updated, or?
The good thing about that funding you see there, that is going to cover, there's various components to the ESRI program, but most of the program is going to be covered up to 2030. That's what that fee covers, so that's very helpful in that situation.
Great, thanks.
John, you want to write the bus?
Yeah, we'll take the bus for a spin around the vacation. Vacation.
I'd like to ask your approval going positive for the ordinance that we took before your last meeting for the fireworks ordinance. We're working together, mayor's office and council, to take a firm stance on not allowing fireworks in the city of Wilkes-Barre. So I'm hoping we'll get the second vote that will approve this ordinance. Very much our third. Thank you.
I have a question about Kirby Park. Is there a map of this project I'd like to look at?
Yeah, okay.
Okay. And the educational topics that are on the kiosk, have they been defined yet, what they would be?
I think it's a work in progress. Tell me, you being a historian, if you'd like to make some suggestions, we're happy to discuss that.
Oh, I'll definitely have a suggestion on the history front.
Pardon me?
I'll definitely have a suggestion on the
Yeah.
history front, because Olmsted, in designing that park, same guys that did Central Park.
I guess you're the perfect source to go to for that.
And the new pedestrian trails, so the trails that are on the forest side of the dike, that are the national trails, are we talking about those trails that are restored, or the brand new trails along the river?
Charlie, you said it would be.
It's sort of a combination. This is going to be a supplemental. If we get the grant, this will be supplemental. There's going to be a very large project in which will basically be restoring the Olmsted Trail on the other side of the levee.
Okay.
This will be supportive of it, but some of these trails, this 250, if I remember correctly, will be used for additional walk around the pond. We only got to about a quarter of the way around the pond with our improvements that we did into the amphitheater. So we'll take around the pond. It's not going to go through the fields or anything. There may be some money left over to supplement the other large grant that's going to be going on, which is on the other side. And that's through the county situation. I don't know if you saw it, it was county art use of the funds. Representative, Coffer was very instrumental in that and very helpful. So there's a large amount of money that's going to be also in the Kirby Park, our side, a little bit on this, but it's really to bring the park back to what it was before as much as you can with the levee in the middle of it.
Right.
But that's really what this is. So this is sort of a more supplemental situation, but we need the pond, which, as you know, is an ongoing problem. That's going to be revitalized with an aeration unit and a fountain, bring it back so it's not as proper plantings and sidings and things like that. So it's hopefully this plan is to have it finished before next June with the Kirby 100-year anniversary of the Kirby laying out Kirby Park. So we're cautiously optimistic that the park will be a very different place by next year.
Maybe we get another 500,000 from the Kirby family.
But they've already contributed toward a significant amount of money.
Good.
So it'll
We've
be
been getting pieces of that, so we,
One, good. And I want to thank our recruits for coming. Thank you for offering yourself for service to the fire commission. And I hope you thank Ron Felton for his years of service. Do you know how many years that Ron Felton served on your commission?
I'm sorry,
Do you know how many years Ron Felton served?
I do not.
That's long.
Before I came here.
Yeah.
It was appointed on her chores.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's been a while.
6 or 7 probably.
Well, thank you for his
In
service.
the upcoming council meeting, we'll be asking you to approve further appointments.
Okay.
You know, we're getting some applicants coming in and applying for positions. I don't know if this is right, you'll be asked about it. So you'll be getting 7 more requests from my office to approve that upcoming council meeting.
Good.
Great. Some of these folks.
Anything else on the agenda? Not presentation?
I just want to make a comment. There was a fire on West Ross Street the other day. The fire department responded very quickly to it, put out a third floor fire. But more importantly, there was a postman who stopped his postal truck, happened to witness it, and ran across the street, banging on all the doors to make sure that the people were evacuated from the property. So I'm actually trying to find out who that postman was so that he could be properly thanked. I think it was a good response both on the postman's part and also on our fire department part as well. That's all, Mr. Chairman.
Councilman McCollum?
And I sent several emails to Charlie the last few days. He responded very promptly. I appreciate that. Thanks, Charlie. That's all I have, sir.
Councilman McBride?
Just one issue, Charlie, I've reported this to you in the past, but they're at it again. It's the lot on the corner of Grant Street and Northampton. They have, just cars on the lot. It's that empty lot, it's the old Ravens Electric
Next to
building.
next to the old fire station.
Yeah, and I think they have a couple for sale on the lot there.
I'll get somebody up tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
That's all I have.
Councilman Barrett? Anything to say?
No, just a special thank you to Charlie and the staff. Sometimes I feel bad when we keep sending these things, I know we're all doing it. We're probably bombarding them, but it's that time of year as well.
Yeah.
Complaints about high grass, I'm so tired of hearing about high grass, and probably you are much more so, but we do appreciate all they do for us, and the timely response is amazing. I turned in one this morning with Ashton Lane up in East End, and I got a text message about 2 hours later, the guys are up there trimming and cutting it back, and that's amazing, amazing to me. So we really appreciate all of your help. The other thing that, as we go through these lanes and alleys, and I know we've talked about this before, with the junk cars that are out there, the proliferation of junk vehicles, people keep these in their yards and backyards forever, and they're a haven for problems and rodents and all those other types of things. And I know that we have an ordinance on that. I know we discussed it again, but I don't know if we could possibly consider doing some sort of a public service announcement. If you have these things on your property, we'd like you to take care of it so we don't have to. Some of these things have been sitting there for, not years, but decades, sitting in these yards. And everything's growing up around them and growing in them. And obviously unsightly, but they're also a health hazard. So I don't know if maybe we talk to Tyler, maybe we can get some sort of an announcement out or some sort of release that we don't like to come onto your property to deal with it, we don't want to cite you, so why don't you do yourself a favor, save the expense and cost, and maybe get a couple dollars for some of these things, they might have some value, but they're causing problems for the neighborhoods, and we don't need them there. If you go through any alleyway that goes behind homes, you're really going to see, you're going to find them no matter where you go, they're all over the place. So I don't know if I can, maybe Tyler can give me a call during the week, or maybe we can put something together here that would just address that it is an ordinance, it is illegal, and it still goes on. So, just a thought. Other than that, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Couple things, Kathy. I don't recall us talking about the property.
Yeah.
We did?
New item for us.
But to follow suit with Councilman Barrett, I requested a lot, grass cut, my district. And by the end of the day, I mean, this was a 5-man job in a couple hours. By the end of the day, the mayor's administration, Charlie, had bumped me out with DPW and it was done. I couldn't believe that they got to it that quick. The name is Carter, I welcome you and I thank you for donating your time and expertise. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Other than that, anything else? Motion adjourned.